Yeah, I know. But I have to. Okay, so I'm not a video guy. I'm not a YouTube guy. But I am a guy that likes things, and this is one of the things that I just bought, the reMarkable Paper Pro 2. I used a colleague's reMarkable device about a year ago, and basically I hadn't stopped thinking about it until recently, when I decided to purchase one. And I wanted to, basically I wanted to give a one take, off the cuff, first impressions really of using this thing. So I bought it to work today. I used it, took it to some meetings, I used it to write down some plans and documentation, stuff like that. And a few things came up that I didn't realize after watching a whole lot of reviews, basically obsessing over this device until it showed up. So I wanted to cover that stuff in case anybody's in the same boat as me, which is wondering, do I buy this? Do I buy the reMarkable Paper Pro? Or do I not? So yeah, just a disclaimer up front, not a video guy. You can tell this isn't scripted, but I thought this would be useful because this is what I wish I had seen before I purchased this device. And at the end I'll wrap it up by telling you whether I'm going to keep it after this period. So I will start with the pros, I think. And if you're watching this, then you've already seen 100 other videos about the reMarkable Paper Pro, I assume. It's not a brand new device. And you know probably that it feels like writing with a pen or a pencil on paper. It feels fantastic. It looks great. Build quality is amazing. The build quality of the accessories as well. This cover is really nice. The design is fantastic with this little latch on it. So you put the pen on, the magnetic strap flicks around, clicks into place. Very satisfying. When you don't need it, it tucks away in a recessed area flat so that it sits flat on the desk. Very cool. Password protected, which is nice. I will change my password after this in case anybody happens to see it. But the feel and the build quality, for me, are the main pros. This thing feels fantastic. I write a lot for work. No, that's not true. I draw a lot for work and I read a lot for work. So I'm a data scientist. I draw a lot of graphs. I like to read like journal articles and stuff like that. I'm also a huge nerd, so that contributes to the articles. So I like to read and to draw. Not artistic drawing so much. I do like to sketch a bit, but mostly my drawing is illustrating a point or a concept, or I'm talking to somebody and I want to say, hey, I've got data over here and it's going to this system and that's how these things connect. So that was kind of my main use case. I would do this, but I'd do it on paper and then I'd think, that would have been useful. I'm sure I did it last week. It's in a notebook somewhere. No idea where it is. Now I can keep it organized. So this is pros for me. I'll move on from pros to things that are fine. Things that I thought might be a problem based on the reviews, that actually, once I got it in my hand and started using it, it's fine. The backlight. My office space is not very, it's not hugely well lit, I'd probably say. There's a guy there who likes to keep the blinds all at the same level. Each to their own. But it does mean that it's a little bit darker in there perhaps than some places. And honestly, I turned the backlight off and I haven't used it. Sorry, I think it's a front light actually. Turned the front light off and I haven't used it. Sitting here, natural light coming in, completely, perfectly legible, no problems at all. Even in the dimmer office space, I didn't personally have a problem. I have really good eyesight, just throwing that humble brag in this video here. But I didn't have any issues with this. I tried turning the front light on. Really all it did, a colleague of mine even mentioned, it just makes the blacks look bluer. It sort of lights up the text rather than the background. I know that's not really what it's doing, I think, but that's what it looks like. And the colors. Colors are fine. Like I say, I'm not using this for artistic drawing. I'm not an illustrator. There's some great videos on YouTube of people that are illustrators that are trying this out and giving their thoughts. but I thought they're fine. Just drawing a little graph, highlighting something, it was great. The refresh does take a bit longer when you're using that, but so far there hasn't been a problem. Like I say, this is day one. The cons, though, for me, are some things that I genuinely wish I knew. I don't want to be the clickbait guy saying 10 things I wish I knew before I bought the reMarkable Paper Pro, but there are some things that have become quite a problem already and are making me think about this 50-day trial. First one for me, the biggest one, when you're connecting to a Wi-Fi network, if it's a Wi-Fi that you can, like open Wi-Fi, it's fine. Wi-Fi where you go in and type in your username and password, that's fine. If it's a Wi-Fi network where, it's called Captive Portal, where it looks to be open, you connect to it, and then when you try and access a page, it takes you to another site and then asks for your credentials. So it's an unlocked Wi-Fi with no password, but then trying to use it will take you to somewhere to put your credentials in. That's a Captive Portal. You'll see this on, I see it on like airplanes, I see it on, like public transport or at the library or something like that. This doesn't connect to those at all. It does connect, but it doesn't have Captive Portal capability. So I brought it into my office. I was like, cool, connect this thing to the Wi-Fi, connect it to a company named Guest, and nothing. Didn't come up with any way for me to sign in. So I'm stuck here thinking, okay, I've just bought this device. It's cost over $1,000 New Zealand dollars. I can't connect it to my work Wi-Fi when primarily it's a device for work, right? For me, at least. Now what do I do? So I'm stuck thinking I can try to figure out a workaround. There's some workarounds. I saw somebody on Reddit posted something about using like a SOC proxy, or I don't know how that works, something like that. Or you can just hotspot from your phone, which is what reMarkable customer support recommended to me, was hotspotting from my phone. I don't know that that's a sustainable long-term solution. I tried to ask them if this was on their developing roadmap. They wouldn't tell me. Fair enough, that's internal company information, but fine. But that was a big problem for me. I don't know, it's worth checking before you purchase this if you plan on using it in your office at work. Just check. Bring a new device in, or on your phone, for example, if you connect your phone to the work Wi-Fi, forget the network, try reconnect. What happens? Do you put your username and password in then, or is it an open network that it then redirects you to a login? Because if that's the case, you're kind of out of luck here. And that was a huge issue for me. Second one, this is still ongoing, the PDF search. So I have a bunch of PDFs with documents and journal articles, whatever. Put them all on here, thought, cool, this is great. I can finally have one place where I can go to mark up and study my documents, but also to act as kind of a knowledge base, right? So I can do a search and I can say, look for, I don't know, look for monads or whatever, and it'll come up. I haven't been able to get that to work. If I go into a PDF, if I open one up, then I can do a search fine, right? So I can open up a PDF and search for monads, and if there's monads in the PDF, it'll tell me. But if I'm in the main home screen trying to search which PDFs have monads in them, again, I'm out of luck. I don't know if that's something I'm doing wrong, but that's not obvious to me. Again, I'm going to have to try their customer support and see. But so far it's been a roadblock that I was not expecting. Next up on the list is the resolution. I put it down as a con. It's fine for writing. I have found if you're reading like mathematical articles, it can get a little tricky to read at the full resolution. If you've got the full journal article or paper on the page, it gets a little difficult to read like symbols and stuff like that. If you zoom in, that's fine, but the zoom on these here we go. Yeah, the zoom on these isn't hugely responsive. It's a little bit kind of fiddly to get started, and it's not really the best experience. I think the resolution is fine for what the device is. I'm not upset about it. It's just, if that's what your use case is, it might not, like an ink device might not actually be the technology that you want yet. I don't think there's resolution like available basically in these displays to be able to do that. Next thing, price of accessories. These accessories feel really good. I got the Marker Pro, I think, the fancy one with the eraser on the back. Feels great, really nice weight to it. It's really easy to erase stuff on the back of it. You write whatever you want. You switch the pen around. Cool, and it's gone. Really expensive for what it is though. Especially when you could also write whatever you want. Click up here to the eraser. Do the same thing. I don't know if it's worth the price. I kind of thought, screw it, I'll try it. This thing's so expensive, I'll just try this on and see, because they have the return policy, right? At least at the time of me recording this. But yeah, the price of this was a bit much. In the same vein, I have absolutely no problem with the folio case. It really is quite beautiful. The functionality, which, for something that's basically just a book, talking about functionality is kind of funny, because what functionality can it have? But they really thought this through. I mean, the little magnetic flap that locks the pen in place tucks back away into a recessed area so that it lays flat. That's really cool. The device itself, if I take it out of here, it's magneted in, and there's 4 recesses that line up with the feet so that it actually sits flush. It's a really nice feeling case. But again, the price is kind of crazy. Especially if you are somewhere with an unfavorable exchange rate, such as New Zealand. And actually that brings me to my last point, which is, being in New Zealand, I wanted to take advantage of the return policy, which for me, when I was looking, it said, when I was looking, it said that they had like a 50-day risk-free trial, right? And they say you can buy it, don't like it for any reason, within 50 days, ship it back, or your money back. Like, that's very generous. That kind of was the thing that made me think, yeah, I'll take the leap in trying this thing. But getting it into New Zealand was difficult. It shipped over here. I was watching the DHL Express tracking thing, landed in the country. It took over 2 weeks for it to get through customs. So it landed in the country. A couple days later, I was watching it going, what's going on? A couple days later, DHL rep called me and said, hey, reMarkable haven't sent all the information they need for this to go through customs. Do you have a copy of the tax invoice? And I said, yep. So I brought up the invoice, I gave him some information, and what he said to me was, yeah, this happens all the time with reMarkable products. So I don't know if none of their customers have been giving feedback on that experience. I know I did. I raised it to them. We'll see whether it gets any better. But I found that quite frustrating. After that, there was even more delay, which admittedly was on my part. If you bring anything into New Zealand over 1,000 New Zealand dollars, you have to have a customs client number or client code, I can't remember which. I didn't provide that, so some of that delay was on me. But the delay at the beginning that kind of dragged this thing out a little bit was because of reMarkable not providing enough information on their shipping for New Zealand customs to clear that. So I think the time between me placing the order and it getting into the country was quick, but it was like 3 times that to get it from the DHL, incoming point, whatever it's called, through customs and then delivered to me. So those are all the cons for me, and the pros, and the things that are fine. I really like this. I don't want this to be seen as a negative video. I think this is great. Even with the cons that I've said, I still plan on keeping it at least for most of that 50-day period. Give it a really good chance, because it just feels fantastic, and I think it fits into my workflow really well. I've already been using it. Like I say, I've had it for 1 day. I've bought it for meetings. I've done some documentation. It just feels great. I really hope it works out for me, but I'm just not sure. Like some of these things, the captive portal was the main one. I didn't know about that. The PDF search, that was the big issue so far, and yeah, I mean the other ones I probably could have seen coming. I knew the resolution, it was an e-ink device, so I knew that was going to be low. Price of accessories, obviously I knew that before I bought them, and I didn't know about the shipping. But yeah, so that's kind of my summary. I hope that this is useful to somebody. There's a lot of videos on this device and on reMarkable devices out there, but even though I feel like I watched all of them, I missed some of this information. So I just want to post this long, one-take, slightly rambling review to hopefully to help somebody who's in the same position as me. Just to have a think about, actually, here's somebody that has the device for a day. What are their first impressions in terms of functionality and how it works? Yeah, I think that's about it. Thanks if you watched. Don't bother subscribing because I probably will never post anything again. However, if you do decide to buy it, enjoy.